All right guys, hola, bienvenidos, welcome and welcome back. Now, I got a lot of questions on how to stay busy throughout the year, especially during slow season, which is something we all go through. Also, you guys were asking how I do my maintenance agreements, or that you couldn't do them in certain softwares like Hvacr, which is the one that I prefer to use. We've had great luck with it. It organizes us really well. And I actually do my maintenance setups in here, so you can set up reoccurring jobs, whether it's like every 6 months or however many times a year that you need to do that. You can set up your maintenance with your customer here, and then it's going to be on a cycle. And you can do invoicing, quoting, all that good stuff through Hvacr, get paid quicker, have automated messages that go out like text, emails, everything you could possibly want in a CRM software. So if you guys want a discount and a free trial, make sure to check the link in my description. And what I like is that they're adding a whole bunch of plan tiers. So if you go and you just want the basic plan, if you're starting out, you just want to quote, invoice, and just get paid. They're having a light plan, which is basically $9 a month. Because some guys are saying that it was a bit pricey, and I know a lot of them get expensive. So I think at $9 a month, this new plan that they introduced is great, especially if you just want to start out on your own. So please go check that out. Like I said, everything's in the description. Check the link. All right guys, so here we have our Hvacr open. Now when you start this, you want to go ahead and add a service. So this is going to be coil cleaning or maintenance. So I just title it PM and labor for whoever you're doing work for. So let's just say for a pizza shop. So you can insert restaurant name here, client name there, whoever it's for. If you guys do residential, then just name it, residential, and maybe put 1 unit or however many units this is for. In the description is where I would put something that you always do. So like maybe your checklist. Okay, I actually had to go and look at what I wrote. So basically, cleaned out coils with coil cleaner. Checked electrical and components. Tighten belts and clear out drains. And then at the end I just put make sure, or made sure, however you want to word it, made sure unit is temping properly. And then down here you can go one of two ways. If you guys want me to go over that pricing in another video, we can do that, but a lot of the times you're going to want to go flat fee, especially on the maintenance. So you can do it that way, or if you have a markup, let's say you're putting in let me just quickly go over products. If you have something that you're selling, and let's say you're selling it for like $100, or no, your cost is like $75, you can mark up by a percentage if you want to do that across the board. I do mark up certain parts. But like services, you're not gonna, like on coil cleanings, maintenance, stuff like that, you're not gonna use this. But let's say you're doing parts and you wanna know how to mark up stuff, you can do that. Let's say your part costs you like $75, something like that. Your markup can be whatever you want over that price. So 50% over is a good starting point if you guys don't know how to charge. So $75, markup 50%, you sell it for $112. So you make, a good $30 there. Obviously, if you want to raise that markup value and figure that out, see how much profit you want to make on every part, you can go that route. But for this service, we are going flat rate, right? So I already had seen this customer, right? They have about 3 units per location, so I already have a price in mind. Now I'm gonna just make up one here. We're gonna go about $100 a unit. Actually, I don't have to do cost. Flat rate is at the end here. If you're not going to do markup, just type in what your price is. So then this is a service, this is for PM and labor, and then what I do is I write out in the description what exactly we're doing. And then if you're doing a flat rate, I forgot to do this on mine, but you can put exempt from tax and then create. So now we head over to create job. And then from here is where you're going to be creating this job that you want to set up. So ideally you want to do this before you head out. Okay, so I'm just going to use a customer that we no longer work with or didn't really want us there. So we're going to put it in on top, whoever it is. It's going to say enter client here. You're going to go here and you're going to, I usually just title it PM and coil cleaning. And then, oh no, PM on the title. You can name it whatever you want. You can name it maintenance, however you name it. Instructions, I just put coil cleaning and maintenance, just so it has a name and what we're doing. It's going to, fill out your customer. Now go ahead and make your customer list before anything when you get a software like this, so that when you put it in and everything, all the address and everything is already in there. So one-off jobs are for those that you want to schedule and kind of dispatch. Now this I'm setting up for myself. I just want a recurring routine maintenance. That's what we're going with. I'm going to go out there today. We're going to do, what is this one? Repeats. So we're going to repeat on a custom schedule. And I'm going to pick monthly. And it's asking me how often. So we're going to do every 6 months. Okay. Now it does make you pick a date. So it's going to remind me on the 9th of whatever 6 months is from now. Duration. This is the only thing that I wish it would leave open or give you the option to, but you have to pick a duration. So you guys that do contracts, if you're doing a year, 2-year contract, that works out for you. I don't do contracts per se, but if I go in here and I just want to have it written out, I'm going to put 2 years. And then in 2 years, I'm going to have to redo this. And then we're going to do fixed price. All right, so here it's going to ask you what you are using on that job site. So here you're going to put in that service that you had already entered. So it's just, you click here, you pick the one that you did for this maintenance, and it fills it out, right? And like I said, we do flat rates on this. So me putting the tax exempt, make sure that it's only whatever price I put, right? I give a quote for that, that's what we're charging. So that's the flat rate, no tax or anything, and it's already set up. So we're gonna save job, and it's in there. So now when I go to create, let's say you're on a job site and you're already done. I don't like to do this stuff while I'm working, it's usually when I'm done. So after the job is done, because I don't use this to check in and out. If you need to do timesheets, if you need to have this for your employees where they clock in and out, you can do that. You can dispatch these jobs. You can assign these jobs to certain techs if you have all that set up. And then they can go in there on job, hit start job, hit end job, and then it'll ask them if they want to invoice. But for me, I don't do any of that. We work, we do the work as it comes. We don't really dispatch or any of that right now. And I just want to, when I'm done, create an invoice. So I'm going to go to create an invoice. And in my list of clients, I don't want to show them, but you're going to pick the one that you went to. Now that you did the PM job setup, it's going to pop up before you even try to make an invoice, asking you, are you here to do this? Now, if you're not, if you're doing something else, you don't have to click anything. You just click next. But if you are there for the PM, check it, and then hit next. And then from here, it's already filled out. Now, the only thing I ask my guys is to make sure that they do the date. So it's always going to say date sent, but sometimes we don't email them out the same day, or I have to print them out and not email them, like for these maintenances that I do. So I have to make sure that I pick the date. So issue date, I'm issuing it today. And that's it. You're gonna save. And on more actions, you're either gonna email it, collect a signature if you guys just collect signatures and payments on the spot, or mark it as sent. Like me, I print it, so I'm gonna go down here and print it. And this is what it looks like, you know, nice professional invoice. Print it and then pay it online or pay it through a check, however they want to do it. So then I can mark it as sent because I physically handed them the printout. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 units to clean. So I just brought up a simple MB2 maintenance bag and my PM pack out. So we're gonna clean these coils, take out the fan motors, do all that stuff, clean it inside out, and then get to it. So they are dusty. Now we maintain them, so they're not going to be horrible, but microchannels can pack a lot, dirt and dust, so we're going to get all that cleaned out. And I use our little setup right there. All right, so we cleaned out the cabinet, give the compressor a little splash of water too. And now some of you guys might not like this, but I go with a blower and kind of push out all the water. This is microchannel, it can hold water. I'll show you guys in a minute, but yeah, do that and then you can turn it on right away unless you want to wait for it to dry out like some of you have told me. So yeah, see how much water that holds? If you don't do this, you're either gonna get high head pressure, which I don't really have that issue too much, but it's 410, you can get high head pressure because it's not blowing air across the coil properly. Or, I think Tito showed this, if there's any water and even a little residue of chemical cleaner, like whatever you guys used, you're gonna get all that water through the fan because it's sucking it up and out, and you're gonna get a little bubble show or a bunch of water flying everywhere. So one of those two things can happen. If I do this, I can turn this on immediately and get them back cooling. Some guys are like, why do you do that? Just let it dry out, air dry, whatever. Yeah, but I don't want issues. I want to turn it back on right away, so this is what I do. Now I should have recorded that one because that one was way more dirty, but if you have a dirty cabinet in here, blowing it out, also you can kind of clean up this cabinet a little bit. You know, leave it nice and clean. If there is like leaves and debris, you know, go in there and get that. There's only a couple in here. I can get them out if I want to. So, you know, leave it as clean as you can. You're here for a PM, you're doing your time anyway. The more you do it, the cleaner these units will be. So maybe the first time, do it as best as you can with your time. And then as you go on, it's just gonna get more like spick and span, you know, squeaky clean. So these are, we take care of these every few months. So for the most part, as long as I get all the water out, all the dirt out, they look really good. So just, you know, be good, stand out, be different than the rest of the guys that are just in and out. This stuff goes a long way. All right, and like I said, I'm gonna do the last one right now, but a lot of you guys have asked me what to charge for maintenance agreements, kind of like coil cleanings and just maintenance in general, because you're doing more than coil cleaning. But generally, like this one is 3 units. This customer is about 20 stores. They have about, I would say 90% of their stores have 3 rooftop package units. So ideally, we like to charge between $1 to $150 per unit. So like if it's this customer, there's a certain amount, it's in the $300 range. For other customers that have like 5, 6 units, because we do have another one that has roughly around 20 stores as well. They're not currently on the maintenance agreement, but we're giving them a quote. And for that one, it's almost double the price. We do try to, it's not on a per unit basis, it's just a rough estimate. And basically, it's like for 3 units, it takes me an hour and a half, 2 hours. For 4 to 6 units, it might take me 2 to 2.5 hours. So just, especially if you have a helper. So take all that into account, make sure you have your labor counted up, and you're just gonna use like chemical cleaner. Obviously you need, if you're just starting out, you need to get all the stuff that you need. So you need a hose. I would like for you guys to use a blower on the micro channel, and then like your little build kit, whatever you guys have. So coil cleaning is probably the main thing that they want, or that helps the system. So you're gonna be like basically doing that either first or last. And then once you know you figure that out, you're gonna be going into the unit and you're gonna be checking the electrical. Like my panels right here, I'm gonna check the electrical. I want to look at the contactors. I want to make sure everything's wired up right. Sometimes stuff is bypassed. And then we're gonna go into the belt compartment. I had to clear out a drain. I disconnected it too. So you're also gonna be checking the drain, clearing those out. Those get clogged up a lot. Something like this one, the other 2 don't have this issue, but on this one, on units that run like 24/7, because I have it set to like 60, and this is like where the ovens are, the kitchen, where they're cooking. So obviously they want that the coldest, even though it gets really hot with all the heat from everything that they're cooking. So stuff like this is gonna be running all day. Those get, I think I even put pen treatment in this one already, but it still gets a lot of mildew or mold. I don't know what you call it, algae, all that kind of stuff, and they clog up. So you need to clear out the drains as well, check the belt, and like I said, check the electrical. So we're giving a glance over. There's make sure your belt tension's good. There's an extra belt there. I'm gonna look at the drain pan, clear it out real quick. I don't know if you guys can tell how dusty these things are. It's been really windy this year. So that's our pre-rinse. All right, and I said I like to wash them inside out. So we already have the coil cleaner on there. It's soaking real quick. On these, this is basically a Linux unit. The fan is not mounted to the grill, so you take the grill off, you still have the fan there. Now you could take off the blade, but I don't know. You can call me lazy. I don't want to be struggling or anything, cause any other issues if I don't have to do it. So I have this wand that I have, just as a little quick connect sprayer on it. This quick connect wand, and then we down or up size it to a garden hose that I also just put a quick connect on it just recently. That's why I think it's important to have a shut-off valve on any garden hose. So I have all my hoses have a shut-off if I ever need to, because obviously if we run it down to the bottom, I'm not going to be running up and down the ladder to do that. So we have the quick connect on because I shut off this and I could change it out. Has a little sprayer on the end. It's not anything crazy. That's all we're doing there. So I can go in between the fan blades here and push all that dirt out. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed, so let me finish up. Also, if you guys have wands, you know, the extension for the garden hose that gives you, like, you know, I have one that's telescoping and all that. This can kind of replace that. If you have a Lennox unit that has that compartment on the side and you need to just stick your hand in there, you can kind of like get those hard to reach places, because basically you just come over and kind of just, you know, go across. I didn't get the super long one only because I wanted it to fit in my pack out. So this one I think is like 15 inches, something like that. They do have longer ones on Amazon. But yeah, this kind of works as a wand too. Alright, so I need to get them some cooling. But as you know, we have a delay. So if I can hook up something like a Jumper King, I just got this, so I wanted to try it out. I know you can just use jumpers, don't worry about that. We're going to use the magnet tips. And then we're going to do this side. Whoops. Alright, so we got those two hooked up. Now what we can do is you hook it up, you screw up, you put it back. There's no power going through yet. So this energizes it, and then this will turn it on. All right, I just wanted to make sure everything was on. So like on these kind of units, you can just put your call for cooling, and then, oh, I forgot to show the Y2. So yeah, we're gonna use blue for Y2. It's on the end over here, magnet tip. So now we can call for Y2. And now all our contactors are pulled in. I can get them some cooling while I pack up, because this was my last unit. And if you guys are doing maintenance, another good way to make some money is to check the contactors and the capacitors. This unit's not that old. Everything's been checking out fine. But if you have pitted contactors, you might want to get ahead of that. And same thing with the capacitors. If they're out of range, anything like that, those are extra things that you can charge. Of course, you might want to bring it up to your customer unless they're cool with it. Just let them know when you're doing a maintenance agreement. We don't like to do a contract, but you can do it verbally if you want to. Make sure that they know nothing is included part-wise. Like if a belt gives out, well, you might do the belts included, but if a contactor gives out, capacitor gives out, transformer, something else, you're going to be charging for that, and you can get, you know, extra money coming in because of that, because you got extra calls just because you were here cleaning a coil or giving a glance over on a maintenance agreement. So I'm going to leave that on for a few minutes, pack up, and then when I take this off, the unit should stay on. Alright, so it's been a few minutes, and obviously if I kill the power, it stays on now, so we can take this off. And that was just to get them cooling, because it is extremely hot today and I had this off for a good while. So just to get them some instant cooling instead of waiting for the whole thing to jump to do the delay and all that. You can do that. Now this has way more uses, and I think just for this, because just for this you can use a little cheap little jumper that you have in your bag probably to jump out and do it that way. It's just cool that it has a little different tips there, because you know, every little board or terminal board is different. Some you can put an alligator clip on, some you can't. Some you can put magnets on, some you can't. And if you really can't get into it, they do have piercing tips. So alligator clips, magnets, magnetic tips, piercing tips where you can pierce these. And if you want, I would probably dab a little silicone on the outside if you're worried about it being exposed, but it leaves the smallest little hole. But you can, let's say you can't get in here or it's too close to something, you can just find the wire and tap into it and jump it out that way. Check pressure switches, you know, things like that. So anything on the 24 volt side, this works. You know, on an AC unit, you have the whatever is coming from the board or from the thermostat, which includes pressure switches and things like that. So, all right guys, next location. Unit is on, but it's 80 degrees in there. So let me double check between these two units what's not working. It could turn into a call if I figure out something, but it felt stuffy to me. I asked the guy and he's like, no, we're good, everything feels fine. It's just people here in Texas are used to the heat. So let me just take some temperature splits on all the units before I even open anything. So I'm taking care of the drains first. They're always clogged up, even though I put pan treatment. Might need to switch to a different one. And temperature is not horrible, so I'm gonna clean the coils before I jump to conclusions. If we can get that down a little bit from coil cleaning, then it's fine. Then I have to check their filters. Yeah, like I said, it's been really windy, so even with the guards on, real quick, just to get an idea. Look at that. It's gonna come out pitch black. So let me get this unit taken apart. All right, so this is another one that runs 24/7. A lot of condensation. Just wanna, I like cleaning up the little labels in case we need to read them later. Get all this out, one way or another. Clean up any mildew and dirt that gets stuck on the coils there. Let me switch out my nozzle. All right. There we go. Inside out, get everything that you can. All right, so we're gonna let our automatic washer take off all the dirt that way. I forgot to mention on these electrical cabinets, like I said, we maintain them so they're not that bad, but you want to go in there with a blower to dust out, get all the dust out. And I lost my brush, but you can also go with a little brush, clean everything out. Appearance is everything, you know? Take pride. All right, so let's turn this back on. Okay, they turn on, I don't have to jump it out, so let's check the temperature over here. All right guys, never mind. Hot kitchen is gonna be a hot kitchen if their exhaust is not working. So I came over here, because you always gotta check if you're working in a kitchen, restaurant, exhaust. It's not even on. So I don't see a switch for it. Up here, there is a disconnect. I'll check for power there. This little makeshift disconnect they have going on. And just tell them if they have a switch off to turn it back on. Or if it's not working, I will bring it to their attention and we'll get a call for it. Alright, so yeah, before I get that comment about splitting the rows, I know that. So as far as like what we work on Carrier and Train, a lot of them have these coils that are folded in half. So what you see out here is only half of it, and then it folds over and then it's a double row. You need to take off the top, which includes taking off the fan motors. Sometimes you can get away with mounting it up a little bit and then kind of looking in if you just want to glance at it. I cleaned them when I first got them like last year, and they weren't even that dirty. This is as dirty as they get. We don't get those blankets of dirt that I've seen online from other guys, so even when I split them, there's nothing in there. It looks like this basically. So as long as I already checked it and it's not an issue, we don't worry too much about it. We just kind of clean it this way and then through the inside. And I've shown that in the video before, where I propped it open and then just looked in between and it looked fine. I still rinsed it anyway, but we don't get that issue down here too much. I'm kind of thinking that one of these is low on charge, probably this one. I don't know if I can show it. The back behind the coil, there is a big stain on the panel. So we probably have a compressor that's not running, and this is not an area where they need too much cooling. It's a pizza place. This is dining. Nobody really eats in pizza places, so that's probably why they haven't noticed this one, because I think it gets cold no matter what. But I'll make sure it's not running by pressure switch, and if it is trying to run, I'll disconnect it and write it up, see if they want us to do a leak test and repair. So these little walk-in coolers, I give them a rinse, courtesy rinse. We don't do maintenance on them. But this is that press one that a lot of you guys didn't like. It's not leaking. That's water. It's not leaking. Satisfied. The line's still cold. So that's been almost 2 weeks. Keep you guys updated. So I was gonna gauge up, but you can already kind of tell that there's ice. So that's this one right here. I'm gonna just disconnect it because it is trying to run. They're all running. I don't know if that low pressure is not working or it's not low enough. So I'm gonna disconnect Y2, write it up, and then we'll see if they want us to come back. Yeah, so it's off, ice went away. So on maintenance, if you see something like that, where the compressor is running dry or low on charge, disconnect it until the repairs are made, and you save them a compressor. That's what maintenance is all about, getting ahead of things, or fixing things if it's simple. But this is gonna be like a leak test, and then probably either a repair, hopefully we don't have to change out the coil, or obviously they have the option of getting a new unit, but this one's pretty repairable, I think. All right, so before we leave, let's see what this little shit is doing. Oh, it has fuses. All right, cool. All right, guys, so no power coming up. It's 5 o'clock. Just came up here to look at it real quick. I'm gonna bring it to their attention, see if they know about it, and if not, we'll schedule that maybe tomorrow. It's 5 o'clock, so I'm gonna clock out already. Yeah, so I told them about the exhaust, and they're like, "What? No way." We took a walk over to the switch, and it was just off. So they were like, "Man, I noticed that it wasn't on all day today," or I just noticed. So that wasn't a call, but I brought it to their attention, and it's gonna help. It already got under 80. It was 81 in there. So just by cleaning that one in the kitchen, it dropped significantly because it was very hot. You could feel it on the fans, condenser fans, when it was blowing air out. It was like stupid hot. So that one was the dirtiest one. The other ones weren't even that bad, to be honest. So I got that going. They turned their exhaust. It's gonna get super fresh in there now. So all's good. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, got something out of it. Hopefully it helps somebody. If it just helps one person or somebody that asked me a question, that's all that matters. So that's how I could have done it in 2 videos, honestly, but I wanted to kind of just end up doing it in one and have everything all together to where you see me setting it up and then you see me going out and actually doing these maintenance calls. So that's how we do it. We're powered by Hvacr. If you guys want a free trial and a discount, check out the link in the description. They start now at $9 a month. If you guys just want the super basic, like if you're a one-man show, just need invoicing and quoting, and to get paid quicker, go ahead and do that. So you can get paid quicker, even if you don't accept payments online, because we still take checks and direct deposits and things like that. So if you don't get paid on the spot, you can still get paid quicker by simply having a professional software that gives you professional invoices and quotes that are sent out and distributed via email and text messages to where they get them as soon as you're done, and that just initiates the payment process a lot quicker. You guys understand, those of you that run a business. If you don't run a business yet and you aspire to do so, just keep in mind, like I said, check out Hvacr. Super cheap plan that they have going on now, and you'll get started in no time and be professional from day one. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys.